Hey guys, today on TCO Outdoors, I'm gonna go with my hunting setup, my bow, my accessories, and we're gonna paper tune it. And we're gonna go with some ways I paper tune and the results from the paper tuning. But anyway, I'm shooting the Prime Nexus 4 this year. I've been shooting Prime probably 6-7 years since it came out. I shot Matthews before, I shot Hoyt, I've shot Elite, I've shot PSE. I've shot just about every bow that came out. I used to switch up every year. I'd go shoot one if I like that one, I'd buy that one. But when I ran into Prime, probably 6 years ago, and I shot their bows, and I've been with them ever since. I had the Prime Black 3 last year. It was a great bow, but I like something about this new grip came out with this nanotechnology. Keeps you a little bit warmer than hitting that cold riser when it's hunting season. I was grabbing that cold alloy when it's hunting season. That's not a good feeling. So I don't like to wear gloves, so this will help a lot. But anyway, this is 70 pounds. It coming in about 72 pounds. They came in a little hot, but I can handle it. I'm shooting black gold accent sight. I've been had black gold now probably going on 10 years. I mean, that's probably the best sight I've ever owned. Indestructible. Plus, there's a warranty you can't beat. They'll replace any parts on it. If they can't replace, they'll replace the sight. And I'm shooting win-win stabilizers. And I'm shooting a sidebar also. Some people don't like sidebar, I love them. I don't want to be fighting that bow left and right. Once it sits in my hand, that's where I want it to stay. I don't want to have to try to get the bubble by cocking the bow. So every time you cock that bow, you're torquing it. You want to hold as less pressure on that hand grip as possible. And I'm shooting the Hamskea Pro drop away. It's a limb driven rest. A lot of rests are cable driven. Limb driven gives you a little more support because when that limb flexes, it's slower than this cable is, so it keeps that arm on your arrow a little longer, probably 50% longer. But anyway, good results out of it. I'm shooting a Hamskea Raptor sight also. I love it because you don't get any blur, any glare through your peep. This setup probably weighing in at about, it's probably 6.5 pound bow, but I like a heavy bow. Heavy bow is a happy bow in my book. I mean, if you can't handle a heavy bow, I guess do a little more working out. If you want an accurate bow, it needs to be a little more weight behind it. But people shoot whatever they want to shoot. I'm just telling you about my setup. I'm not knocking anybody else's setup, but this is what I like. Anyway, we're gonna be trying to paper tune this thing with got a gold tip, black label, probably coming in at 510, 15 grains, 4 fletch. I'm gonna be tuning it with a nocturnal strobing, a lighted knock, but I'm also gonna try to tune it with a factory knock, because if that doesn't tune, I know the factory knock can tune. Sometimes you have a little problem with those nocturnals because they don't fit tight into the back of the arrow. If it's got any slop in it, you're gonna have problems tuning it. Shoot 125 grain head with about a 45 grain insert. So I'm getting a lot of FOC up front, and you want your arrow to balance more towards the front. 12, 10, 12, 14%, somewhere around there. The better balance toward the front, the better. It's gonna get better flight. You start getting too much weight behind you, you're gonna start getting that parachute effect on your arrow. Anyway, we're gonna start out with the factory knock and see if we can't tune it with it. And also a little bit on releases. I shoot 3 or 4 different types of releases. If I'm practicing, sometimes I'll shoot the hinge just to shoot it. I wouldn't hunt with it. Some people hunt with it, but it's just not predictable enough for me to hunt with it. I shoot the thumb. I shot thumb hunting for the last 3-4 years. And I shot wrist release before that for 20-something years. But this year I'll be shooting wrist release hunting this year because sometimes I switch up, whichever I feel more accurate with. Sometimes you'll start getting a little target panic. So you switch to something else and it clears it up. So I'm gonna try this wrist release this year. This is B3. It's a good release. It's a double sear, so it doesn't have much pressure on the hole, and it's got a crisp trigger on it. So that's what you want to look for. Put you some money on a good release. Don't buy a cheap $25 release and so much slop in it, and you're not gonna have fun with it. So I'm shooting this release. We're gonna try to paper tune this thing, starting out with this. And what we want is a perfect bullet hole through paper. And what I mean by bullet hole through paper is when you shoot through paper, if that arrow is going straight through that paper, you won't have a tear. You'll just have a perfect bullet hole with 4 fletched tears through it. If that arrow is coming like this, tail low, it's gonna rip that paper at the bottom. If it's coming tail high, it's gonna rip that paper at the top. Same way with left and right. Whichever way it's going, it's gonna rip away from the center shaft of the arrow. And what you're trying to do is get that arrow to come out of the bow perfect, because the better you get this coming out of the bow, the more efficient your bow gonna be, the more accurate you're gonna be. So that's the purpose of paper tuning. So a lot of people just go buy a bow, throw a rest on there, shoot it, and don't hit what they hit and start working on the sight. You move in the sight to accommodate the inaction of your arrow, but that's not what you want to do. You want to tune that bow first so you can get the most efficiency coming out of that bow, and then you work on your sight. So here we go. So right now we got a slight tail low, and that's telling me that the arrow is coming out like this. So I'm gonna make a few adjustments to this rest by dropping it just a little. You can drop your rest or you can raise your knock. My knocking point is already where I want it to be, so I'm gonna just drop my rest just a hair and see where that puts me. Try this again. It's not bad, but I'm a perfectionist when it comes to this archery thing, and I've always been that way. Just a hair more. Judging by that last one, this should do it. I'm gonna try to do the same thing every time. Don't switch up stuff because you get false reading. Hand placement, cheek placement. Archery is all about repeating. Same thing you did the first time. That's perfect. That's what I was looking for. Now I'm gonna shoot one with the lighted knot and see if it does the same thing. So I'm not sure if that's what I'm gonna be hunting with or not. I like to try both. The only concern I have with this lighted knot is, you know, deer move right at dark, right at light. You got this strobe coming through the air, and the deer reaction is to look at the sound. So when he looks and see this flash coming through the air, what you think he gonna do? Try to run. So that's the only thing I'm concerned with, especially on longer shots. 20 yards, probably no problem. But you shoot 40 yards, it could be a problem. I'm not saying it is, it could be. And I want everything in my favor, less in his favor. So something to think about. If somebody shot at you and the bullet was glowing coming at you, what you gonna do? I think I'm gonna try to get out of the way. That's perfect. That's perfect. So now that you have your bow paper tune, you lock everything down, and then you work on setting your sight. That's what a lot of people go wrong. They go buy a bow, throw a rest on there, set the target out there at 20 yards, fire at it, hit left or right, start moving the sight. That's not what you're supposed to do. You got to tune your bow first. You work on the rest. First thing you do, get that rest centered where your arrow is coming perfect out of that bow, so you get the most efficiency possible out of your bow. And once you get that, then you work on your sights. You set it up for 20, 30, 40, 50, whatever you're setting it up. Start moving your sight. Set your 20, set your 30, your 40. In my case, I shoot a single pin, and it'll shoot out, it's set for out to 90 yards. And sight tapes come with it. So you set your 20 and you set your 50, and we match those sight tapes up to the ones they send with you, and you set. I mean, that's what I like about it. There's no setting one pin, set two pins, set three pins. It's all done. So, but anyway, hope y'all enjoyed this video today. And if you like it, subscribe. I can sure use the subscriptions. I have some more videos coming, probably on setting the sights or something. I have some more coming. It's getting close to hunting season. Me and my son, we'll start hanging stands. We gotta hang double sets this year because he's determined to kill a deer this year with his bow. He's be 13 come November, and he's been shooting about every day. He's shooting well, so I know he'll get it done. And we're gonna try to see that footage when we get it. So y'all stay tuned. TCO, we talk later.